Students, whatever homework is given to you, you have to submit it on the very next day between 8 am to 1 pm to the given WhatsApp number, and it is compulsory to submit your homework as your attendance will be marked on the basis of your submission.
Good morning, children. I hope you all are fit and fine and enjoying these days when you don't have to come to school. Well, I welcome all of you in online education of KGK Higher Secondary School. I am here to teach you English of 12th standard for both commerce and science stream. Today we are doing the second poem of our syllabus, and the name of the poem is An Elementary School in a Slum. And this poem is written by one of the most well-known poet of English literature, Stephen Splendor. Stephen Splendor, he has given a message to all human beings in this poem. And this is the message of what? Social injustice and social inequalities. Well, social justice should be there for all. Equalities must be there for all. All facilities must be available to all people of the nation. But unfortunately, it does not happen. When five-star hotels are there, on the other hand, even the slum area also exists in a country. Perhaps you don't know, but in India, the biggest slum area of Asia is situated, and that is Dharavi in Mumbai, Maharashtra. Now, what does he want to say? That one of the basic requirement of all human beings, of entire society, is the education. Education must be available for all the children because the future of the nation depends on that. But unfortunately, all facilities of education, even the basic infrastructure, is not available for the poor people, those who are living in the slum area. And this injustice and this inequality, it must be stopped. It must be over. We have to bring equalities in our society. The right to education is there, it should be for all. Even the poor people deserve to get educated, and government must make it sure that education is available for all the people, including the poor children. In this poem, the poet makes fun of the system in which good schools are there, but on the other hand, even the basic infrastructure like school building, good classroom is not available for the poor students, poor children of the slum area. He has described one school of a slum area. How is the situation of that school? We feel guilty when we see the condition of this school in which children are studying. The future of India is there. Let us see what is described by Stephen Splendor in this poem. We are going to divide this poem into two different periods, okay? In first period, half of the poetry will be covered, and in upcoming lecture, I will explain you the rest part of this poem. Let us start. I'll read you the stanza, and then after I will explain you. The first line: far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces. Far, far from gusty waves. Gusty, it means strong. The word meaning is written only, you can see here. Gusty means strong. Now he has described the children are present in the elementary school, which is situated in the slum area. And far away from the gusty waves. It means the children's face is very pitiable. It seems as if they are the victim of malnourishment. They are malnourished. Their physique is not good. So these children, they are looking very poor. They are looking very pitiable. They are looking very thin. They are not strongly built up children. Far away from reality, these children are seated in this elementary school. Their faces are very innocent, but we feel guilty when we see these children because they look malnourished, they look very weak. The second line, yeah. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces like rootless weeds. Here the poet has compared the poor face of the children with the unwanted weeds. Weeds is unwanted plant. Whenever the farmers do agriculture in their fields, the unwanted plants grow up. And the farmers, they uproot it and throw it out. They are unwanted plants, weeds. And here, direct comparison is made by the poet. Direct comparison is there. And this figure of speech is simile. Poet has used simile to show the pitiable condition of the children. They are unwanted. Society does not want them. Society does not need them. They are very poor. So from the first line only, we get to know about the pitiable condition of the poor children in the elementary school, which is situated in the slum area. The hair torn round their pallor. Pallor means white face, colorless face, dull face. Children are malnourished, and because of that, there is no shine, there is no brightness seen on the face of the children. Their face is absolutely dull because they are malnourished. And their hair, the hair. Generally, when the children go to school, they make sure that their hair style is properly arranged. But here, the hair of these poor children is not proper. The hair is scattered everywhere. And yes, obviously, their colorless face. It indicates that definitely they are the victim of malnourishment. Now, from here onwards, the poet has described some of the children who are present in the classroom. The first child, which is described by the poet, is the tall girl with her weighed down head. First child who is described by the poet is a tall girl. Tall girl. The tall girl's head is towards downward. She has kept her head down. Now, why she has kept the head down? Two reasons can be there. The first, she is feeling sleepy. She is feeling sleepy. Or second, as she is poor, she has got no guts to look into the eyes of the teacher, and that's why she has kept her head down. So this is the tall girl. Second child described by the poet is the paper streaming boy. See, very interesting words, very interesting adjectives are used by the poet. The paper streaming. Paper streaming boy. Paper, we all know how does the paper look like. It is very thin in size, okay? The boy which is described here, he is so thin that poet has compared him with a thin paper. It is the clear indication of malnourishment. child is very thin. See the beautiful use of metaphor can be seen here. Metaphor is used by the poet. The boy is compared with a paper, and the point of comparison is what? Thinness. The next line, the paper seeming boy with rat's eyes. Yeah, the eyes, how are the eyes of this boy? Rat's eyes. The eye of this boy is compared with the eye of a rat. Again, beautiful use of metaphor. And this is transferred epithet also. Rat. Have you seen the eyes of the rat? Rat eyes are not focused at one point only. The rat's eyes continuously to look here and there. The eyes continue to move here and there in search of food. And this boy, who is very thin, his eyes also look here and there. And perhaps he is there in search of what? Food only. And then the stunted, unlucky hair of twisted bones. And how is this boy? How is this boy? He is stunted. Stunted, not fully grown. Another child, third child. This child is not grown up completely. This child is not grown up completely. And unlucky hair. Hair, it means he is the successor. He is very unlucky. Why he is unlucky? Because the disease that his father had, the same disease he has got. He has got the disease in inheritance. So this, and what is the disease? He is suffering from a disease of twisted bones. He is suffering from a disease. Reciting a father's gnarled disease. Yes. And here the poet has described that the boy who is suffering from a twisted disease of bones, well, he is reciting the lesson taught by the teacher in the classroom. At back of dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young, his eyes like in a dream of a squirrel game. One more boy is described by the poet here. And the boy is unnoticed. He is seated on the last bench. He is seated on the last bench. And he is physically present in the classroom, but his mind is somewhere else. He wants to get, the poet has compared him with a squirrel. He wants to play with a squirrel. He wants to play with a squirrel in a tree room. Well, generally the squirrels play on the tree, okay? But here this room is very small. He is physically present. He wants to play with a squirrel, but physically it is not possible in the classroom. So here we stop for today. And in next lecture, I will explain you the rest of this poem. So have a nice day to all of you. Thank you very much.